Hello everyone, welcome to the Old Coot Camper channel. In today's adventure, we're going to brave one of the roughest roads to camp at and experience one of Wyoming's most beautiful areas, the Wind River Mountain Range. So stick around. We totally enjoyed our time in Custer, South Dakota and at Custer State Park. And although we left a lot on the table, more things to see in the future for sure, we had to resume our journey and our rendezvous with some snowfields at Glacier National Park. So today we're on our way to Pinedale, Wyoming, an old trapper's town that's a whopping 470 miles away. Our route took us through the back roads of the High Plains area of eastern Wyoming, from one small town to the next, like Newcastle, Wright, Muddy Gap, and Farson. Undoubtedly, there were many things to see along the way, but with almost 500 miles to trek, we couldn't afford many stops. So we're cruising down Wyoming State Route 387 westward towards Pinedale, just outside of Wright, Wyoming. Man, there is a lot of nothing out here, but it is beautiful. However, there is a quick pullover at Sweetwater Station, a rest area which is roughly the halfway point of the Oregon Trail and a place that has a long history. This is often called the crossroads of history in Wyoming as trappers, immigrants on the Oregon Trail, and Native American Shoshone, Sioux, and Crow roam the landscape. Doesn't seem like much now actually, but it was a crucial waypoint for generations. If you're here at the right time of year, you can catch the migrating sandhill cranes in the flatlands along the Sweetwater River, and archaeologists have rounded up evidence of prehistoric residents here from 12,000 years ago. So we're just leaving Sweetwater Station, Wyoming. That's like the halfway point on the Oregon Trail. There is literally nothing out here. Those poor Oregon trailers, man, the hardships they had to face. And it is windy as heck. We are heading right into a wind. I think we're at 9.7 miles a gallon. That is like a gallon, maybe 2 gallons less per mile than I normally get. At least 2 gallons a mile pulling this thing. Yikes, gas mileage sucks when you're heading into the teeth of a wind. And onward, westward we kept on until we finally got a glimpse of the Wind River Range. After over 10 hours on the road, we simply wanted to get to the Yellowstone RV Resort. Unhitch, grab a bite to eat, and hit the hay. It's unfortunate because there's so much we didn't get a chance to see in Pinedale other than a smoky bar where we wolfed down a beer and a burger. Tomorrow we're heading to the Green River Lakes Campground in the Bridger-Teton National Forest for a few days of boondocking in one of the wildest, most remote camping areas I've ever experienced. So we're at the Pinedale Yellowstone RV Resort. This is one of those kind of semi-luxury resorts, more than we typically do. And of course, we're the smallest camper in the place, which is par for the course. But anyway, for one night before we head out into the wilds of Green River Lakes, pretty nice. This is the bathroom of the Yellowstone RV Resort. Can you say, eat off the floor clean? Wow. So to say I had some newbie errors, last night we stayed in Pinedale and it was not supposed to get down below freezing, but apparently it did. So the water line, and I'm hooked up to water, which I never do, froze. So my filter froze, that's shot. But I'm more worried about my water pressure gauge. You can see there's a little ice nobule on there. I don't know if that froze and as a result expanded and screwed this up, but we will see when it gets a little bit warmer. The good news is that none of the lines in the camper itself froze because we had heat on, so we'll see, but it's a newbie mistake. So yesterday was nothing but a travel day up here to Pinedale. We took our first showers in like 8 days. It felt amazing, and now we're on a short jaunt miles wise, but pretty long time wise, to Green River Lakes Campground in the Bridger National Forest, I think it is. Bridger-Teton National Forest. After thawing out our water lines, we headed west out of Pinedale for a bit on Highway 191, then north on Wyoming 352 past Cora. Took us about 45 minutes to make the 35 miles to Green River Lakes Road, which is an entrance to Glacier National Forest and is essentially the continuation of Wyoming 352, but it's a dirt improved road. It's another 19 miles to the campground. As you're about to see, the state of Wyoming, or maybe more aptly the National Forest Service, has a very different definition of improved road than the rest of us. Literally, as soon as we got on this dirt road, it is shake, rattle, and roll, baby. 19 more miles at about 8 miles an hour. Off to the left, you'll see the Green River, and you'll also see, on occasion, some campers. This is all BLM, or National Forest land, that you can camp on. The further we went, the fewer RVs and vans we saw, and for good reason. Seriously, guys, go across the road, please. Thank you. Oh, you're waiting for me. How nice. Are you? Actually, these cows are not stupid. They are stupid, but they're waiting. He's a little bit scared.
We don't have any more campers behind us.
Either they turned off in one of those earlier campgrounds, or we got ahead of them. He is significantly bigger, as most of them are. Or on his stomach? Is he kind of balancing on something with his stomach?
I have no idea, but
it's a woman doing yoga.
Left.
A woman doing yoga?
Either that or she's playing divining rod trying to find water.
That's something you see every day. It's hard to tell, but at this point I was literally driving at walking speed, and I kept looking in my rear view mirror to make sure that my travel trailer was still attached. It's the roughest road I've ever driven on with my camper. We're 13 miles in to our 19-mile journey. The most bone-jarring, death-defying ride with a travel trailer you will ever experience here in Green River Lakes. In Wyoming, they call this an improved road. Clearly, they don't want you to come.
I go left just a little bit.
Don't want to go in the water, because I do not know what is there. Finally, after what seemed like hours, actually didn't seem like hours, it was hours, over 3 to be exact, Square Top Mountain came into view, and I knew we were getting pretty close to the campground. And after 3+ jarring hours, a bathroom break was definitely required before finding a campsite. The sites here are all first come, first served, and based on what we read, I wasn't really worried about getting a campsite, and as you can see, this place was mostly empty, so we didn't have any trouble. And by the way, the road in the campsite itself really wasn't any better than the road getting to the campsite. Oh my goodness. You know, could have been worse, I guess. This door, maybe, did we lock that? I don't remember. It came open. Let's see, looking here. All the clothes are off, but nothing's broken. Oh, I'm afraid to look in the bathroom. Could have been worse. Could have been worse. Wow. It is absolutely gorgeous here. But I'll tell you what, the road in is 19 miles of pure torture. Rocks, huge potholes. It's not a matter, honestly, of avoiding potholes. It's a matter of figuring out which pothole is going to do the least amount of damage. They sort of advertise this place as an RV accessible campground. It's a National Forest Service. Come on, guys, do better. That road was freaking horrible. And as beautiful as this place is, it took more than 2 hours to go 19 miles. And the stress of wondering what the hell I was going to find when I got back was enough to make me say, I'm not sure that this place is worth it. Now, I'll let you know more after 2 days of camping here. But the camper is a mess, as you can see. And is this beautiful scenery worth it? I'll let you know. One of the things we had our sights set on was hiking around the Green River Lake. The lower lake, there's an upper lake too. The lower lake loop is about 8 miles, a little less than that, but we'll see how far we get. Let's go. And as you can see, I have my bear spray. I've got my Garmin Mini with the SOS thing on it. I've got all trails. I'm totally unprepared. Oh, and I got an air horn too. We'll see how this all goes. Here we are, Bridger Wilderness, Bridger Teton National Forest. Nice. We elected to do the hike counterclockwise, starting from the south end in the woods above the lake. And unfortunately, because we were traveling eastbound at that point, we were going right into the morning sun, so the video didn't always turn out the best. If you weren't aware, this is big time grizzly country, so we were on the lookout. Yep. Guess that's what you're supposed to do. It feels kind of weird. But hey, I don't want to be barefoot, so hey, ho, it's off to work we go. Holy moly, look at this. Holy cow. Wow. Green River Valley, Green River water. The trail is actually a river at the moment. Yep. Getting wet. Wow. As good as we're gonna get. So we just have... Yeah. We have been trying to get to this bridge.
Oh.
So at this point, we had basically been trudging through a river trying to find a bridge over the Green River. And we were quite concerned because this is prime bear habitat, and we noticed some berries as well. And so we were trying to get out of here and make as much noise as we possibly could. Yeah, it's a little bit cold. You know what? I'm gonna go this way. Hey, we made it to the bridge! Oh, I have 2 totally soaked feet. Whew. That was a marsh. And my feet are a little bit cold. And wet. But it's a beautiful view. So we did just our first river walk. It's not like the San Antonio River walk. It's like walking right through a cold river. So our feet are soaked, but we're trudging on into bear country, grizzly country. Just walked over some big ass bear scat too. Not too fresh, maybe 24 hours I guess. It's kind of dried out. Baby, baby, baby. Baby. Now we were actually at Upper Green River Lake, and you can clearly see the famous square top mountain in the background. Here we took a quick break, had a few sandwiches, and just continued to enjoy the amazing views. So Pam here continues to use the Advil in my first aid kit. She took a header right here, cut her lip. Good thing she didn't fall on her.
My ass?
Oh no, good thing you didn't fall on the finger that you slammed in the door this morning. By this point, we had gone almost to the very eastern edge of the Upper Green River Lake and decided to head back. And there's little doubt that the distance and the elevation started to take its toll as we began to tire. And this little squirrel decided to take a nap right on a branch. And finally, the last bridge over the Green River before we could get back to our campsite. So we've just returned from an epic hike. According to my all trails, we went 6 miles, which didn't seem right because we were freaking exhausted. According to my Garmin InReach, we went 10 miles, which seems a hell of a lot more likely. So I don't know what the discrepancy is between the two. I'll have to figure that out, but I'm exhausted, and poor Pam sprained her wrist, cut her lip, fell in the creek. But she's alive, and we didn't get eaten by bears. And we're pretty happy about that.
And we didn't die.
And we didn't die. We had actually planned on camping 3 nights, but at night 2 we heard a storm was coming, so the next morning we had to take off. So we're about to take the second ride from hell. First ride was on the way in. The second ride is on the way out. I'm not going to film that because 1, it's stressful, and 2, you saw it on the way in. But let me show you what we had to do to the camper based on what we learned on the way in. So first we made sure all the lines were empty. I don't normally do that. I don't worry too much about it, but in this case I am. over here, took all the clothes that were hanging out of the closet because they had all fallen. Took anything on the counter, put it on the floor, took all the spices out of the spice rack, stored them, duct taped the doors down. You can see that because don't want them to fly open. Duct taped the microwave in because we lost a screw and a couple of them were loose. In the bathroom, normally I travel with the sink down, it doesn't really matter, but it's so rough that I don't want to break the hinges, and so we duct tape that. We also duct tape the toilet shut and a little duct tape over there. We don't have much in the tank, but I don't want that coming back. Make sure this door is duct taped as well, just in case. Put some towels in between those little cracks on the seat because the table moved a lot. And yeah, pretty much nothing that can fly off. Did we leave? So we just finished our drive back to pavement. And I guess I would say my initial thoughts are this. Green River Lakes Campground is spectacularly beautiful. The campsites are great, especially for a small camper. The area is beautiful. The hikes are epic. We didn't see any wildlife, but that's just, luck of the draw. But if you have a travel trailer, this is a no-go. I wouldn't do this again. If you're an overlander, you're hiking out of the back of your truck or your car, something like that, absolutely come here. But if you're towing a travel trailer, even a small one like mine, hard no. I think that the stress is not worth it. Luckily, my travel trailer did not sustain any major damage. A few missing screws, that's all. But that might be luck in the fact that I drove 5 miles an hour for 20 miles. It, did take us 3 hours to go, 20 miles. So kind of insane. Beautiful place, hard no on the travel trailer. Hey folks, thanks for joining. You can see weather came in. We got out just in time. Until next time, everyone, cheers, carry on.